Hey guys, Malika Semper here from Malika Semper Astrology. Let's talk Virgo because this is the final couple of days of Leo energy and we are shifting into Virgo season. So Virgo is going to come in. Let me look at the chart here. The first day of Virgo being August 22nd, the sun is going to shift into Virgo at 1:34 p.m. Pacific. Thank God for our Virgos. That's all I gotta say, because they sort of keep the wheel running smoothly. Virgo's biggest sort of attribute is being the angel here on our earth. They came in to be in service in such a beautiful way. They came in with such divine, pure heart energy, our Virgos, and they see what isn't working. They see where the mess is or what is messy. They see where our shoelaces are tied in a knot, and they set about undoing the knot. They set about creating solutions and rhythms and rituals in order to have things running smoothly. Okay. And that is such an asset to us. And it's such a deep need that a lot of us have that Virgo friend that you can go to for advice or their insight or their input because it is invaluable. Now, Virgos are earth signs, so there tends to be a requirement for them to feel grounded. And if they do not feel grounded, there can be a nervous tension that sort of sets in or an anxiousness and anxiety that sets in. They're ruled by Mercury, which is Mercury's quick. Mercury is the mind, the intellect. He's speedy. He's going from point A to point B. So Mercury or Virgos can be very quick-minded. They are our intellectuals as well, much like their Gemini brothers and sisters. And Virgos tend to need to know what is happening, what is the plan, what is the itinerary, what are the steps of the day. Virgo is here to create structure throughout our day, organization. They see something and they want to create order to it. They have such an amazing way of paying attention to the details of things. Not all of us are built for the details, but people with strong Virgo in their chart, they have a natural affinity to sort of get into the layers of the details and from there create daily rhythms that tend to work really well and run really smoothly. Virgos are concerned with day to day. So day-to-day activities, having that daily rhythm that works is going to be really helpful, especially like your little Virgos, right? Um, to know that your Virgo child feels safest and most held when there is a schedule to adhere to, when they know that breakfast is at 8 a.m., that we leave the house for school at 8:30 a.m., so on and so forth. They thrive in knowing the plan. And when they do know that, then they show up and feel very successful. They like to be prepared. They will have studied for the test, so on and so forth. They're here to like make sure that we have our pencil sharpened and our stack of papers ready to go and that things are in order. Now, that being said, we do have our messy Virgos. Yes, we do have our messy Virgos. But internally in their minds, they know where everything is, even in the mess. They have a format, they have a system and a structure within the mess that does still work for them, right? Um, some of the harder parts of being Virgo, some of the shadow sides of the Virgo archetype, they're super hard on themselves. They put a lot of pressure on themselves. Um, they're striving to get it right the first time. And so recognizing that we're only human, they're only human, and humans make mistakes. And we don't necessarily always get it right the first time, but they can be so hard on themselves when they drop the ball, if they don't get the A plus, if they didn't make it to the appointment 5 minutes early, so on and so forth. So giving themselves a lot of grace, us giving them grace when they miss the mark. It all goes a really long way. They can also come in with a lot of negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. I haven't worked hard enough. I should be further along than I am, so on and so forth. And again, to applaud our Virgos and to give them the recognition and the thanks and the gratitude for all the ways that they show up for us is huge. Virgos can have a lot of built-in resentment because they continually show up, they continually do the work, they continually, hard word, come to the rescue without a lot of appreciation. So to give your Virgo that appreciation, to give them gratitude for all the ways that they show up for us because they are so helpful. Um, and remembering, Virgos, to be kind to yourself, to give yourself grace, to turn that negative self-talk into positive affirmations is huge. Now, the beauty of August 22nd on Friday, the sun moves into Virgo at 1:34 p.m. Pacific, and then the moon joins the sun in Virgo, not till later that evening, 11:06 p.m. Pacific. But when both our luminaries are in the same sign, it creates a new moon. The moon is the tiniest sliver in the sky. Everything is dark in the heavens. So we do have a new moon week coming in here. We're in the balsamic moon phase right now. And there's just a quieting. There's a desire and a requirement to go more inward and to do the inner work. This new moon is falling at 0 degrees of Virgo. So you would find where 0 degrees of Virgo is in your chart. I'm just thinking about my chart. It's in my first house. And so that area of life really gets illuminated during this new moon. And that area of life is where you plant new seeds, especially at a 0 degree moon, because it's the beginning, it's fresh, it's the fresh start. Okay, you guys, enjoy this Virgo energy, and I will be back next week.